Sewing. I've always loved it. I started around 1982 or 83, but I've always sewn. Even as a child, I learned to embroidery, a little bit of crochet, but I've always been a sewing person. Made all my children's clothes, most of my clothes. Did a lot of counted cross stitch and embroidery. And then I got into quilting in the early 80s. Well, I grew up with quilts. I thought everyone had quilts. That was just part of our home. We had them on the beds. We put them out in the yard to have picnics and things like that. But I loved quilts. My daughter and I saw a quilt pattern book of cross-stitch designs, and they were so pretty that I thought, I don't want to ruin these by not knowing how to quilt. So I got off into quilting that way. Started taking classes and just took every class, every lesson I could take. And never went back to counted cross stitch. I guess it's the way I love to express myself. I love beauty, I love nature. I love to interpret nature in my work or anything that I love. I do my cats with my quilting. I started out as a traditional quilter, making quilts for the bed, and I still do that some, but primarily I do art quilting now. And very often a beautiful scene, a beautiful tree, a leaf, a flower, I just want to think of it in fabric. I guess I love the tactile nature of fabric. Everything we do all our lives is connected to fabric. From when we're born, the clothes we wear, we spend a lot of our lives sleeping. Everything is done with fabric. We're wrapped in fabric, and fabric just kind of represents love. And I think that's primarily just my love of fabric. Because if it's something you enjoy doing, the doing of it is the main thing. Sometimes when I would get nearly to the end of a piece, I almost would slow down because I didn't want it to be over with. Something like reading a real good book. When you get nearly to the end, I realize I'm just delaying finishing it. And so I think I do that in some of my artwork. Quilting can be a very solitary activity because it's generally just something that I do all on my own. It is neat to share it with other people who have a similar interest. I love to look at things on the internet, see other people's quilts. We have a lot of like Facebook groups, quilt guilds, and places that I can be with other quilters and see their work, let them see my work. And very often, like I say, we send a picture to someone and say, here's what I'm working on. What do you think? But you still have to come back to your own vision and get it like you want it. I'm very happy here alone with my sewing and my quilting and my cats. But I also enjoy getting with other people who enjoy it too. I'm at the fortunate place that I'm on my own schedule. I can wake and sleep whenever I choose. I can work on my things whenever I choose, which is a very good sense of freedom. When we bought this house, it was a bigger house than we needed, a bigger yard than we needed. But I fell in love with a large room that used to be a playroom where I can work on my work. And sometimes I would be in that room and my husband would come and stand in the doorway and he'd say, I'm so happy you have this space. And that made me feel so good that he enjoyed knowing how happy I was to be in my, just like my little playhouse. Just anything to be sewing, something with the needle and thread.